We're all about sharing the facts and teaching the tricks. Let's talk all things about music, the life of music. Let's engage about the rhythm. Let's talk about our passion for melodies, sound, and those beautiful classics. Let's get educated about these decibels we oh so dearly love. On this podcast, we talk about these politics. Welcome to Music Politricks. Sanbonani dumelang kere ekse nakalina ke nabusi baba khulu baba dese bareke the queen of Pitori. I'd like to appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you follow all the social platforms. It is at Music Politricks, and of course make sure to press that like button, switch on that notification button, and like it, subscribe. I get it. It's all about sharing the facts and of course teaching the tricks. And today I feel like can I evolve your music. And I'm so excited for this conversation because look, you've really influenced so many careers. You have really done so much and given yourself to the music industry in South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only spoken priestess.
Her. Dumelang.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are
I'm so
you?
proud of you. This is
Thank
beautiful.
you.
I watched the one with Sianda that you had about artist management. This is such a beautiful thing. When I saw it, I was like, this is what I've been thinking of. And I even showed my manager, I'm like, wabo. If you don't do something, someone will do it.
For sure.
This is beautiful.
Thank you so much. And I love that you're also bringing up Sianda because he actually spoke of you.
He did.
Look, music Unscripted, you have really just done incredible for the music industry, for people in the music industry, people behind the scenes, and also people we see in front of the cameras and in the music.
Yeah, it's been years. It's been years. It's like 15 years of spoken priestess. And in that time, so much has happened, from radio to digital to writing to content planning to becoming a strategist to now an entrepreneur. And it's so crazy how the opportunities are endless. And it's so crazy how felele, like you think you're done. Like, when I got into the DJing, I'm like, okay, the DJing is the thing. Now I'm moving into my entrepreneurship era and I'm like, okay, I didn't think that I could go any further, so it's been a journey.
Your evolution has really actually been incredible, we used to work together on UJTV.
Exactly, in 2015.
And of course, you were at Tony FM at some point.
Yeah.
You were at UJFM, and you got into sort of the radio broadcasting space. You got into behind the scenes. How do you actually get to that next level? How do you decide, okay, this is the next level that I want to go into. This is how I want to evolve.
Sure. I just flow. I am an artist by nature. I am a creative. I've always been one. And I guess I just follow my passions. I never not want to tap into things I like. I always do the things I like. And so thank God for me, it usually flows well, organically. So the radio is really what allowed me to tap into my love for music. And that's how I got to know artists and connect with artists. So that got me into the game. But then once I was in the game and the relationships that I developed with the artists, I realized that, okay, artists need this, artists need that. So that's how I knew what the loophole, needed, like what gaps were in there. But I'd always been writing as well. So then when, I was writing for Hype at some point and I was just plugged in. And that's when Slicker called me like, yo, like, don't you want to run the website? And I'm like, what do you mean? I literally got the game in my phone book. Let's do it. So both a combination of like opportunity favoring the ready. I've always been the kind of person that's well put together. I'm quite organized. So whenever an opportunity would come, it would find me ready. I'd be like, yeah, let's do it, So I think that's the biggest lesson that I will take out from my journey and like just being in the industry. And to anybody out there that's listening is that stay ready so you never have to get ready, So that's how like my journey has moved, like just always being ready for the next step, always being willing. And I'm also a very curious person. I'm very curious.
Very important
I'm not
also.
afraid to be like, okay, how does this work? Like, let me find out, research, Google. Okay. Like now I'm in my TikTok girly era and my TikTok is growing like crazy. I'm on a 30-day challenge and I just hit 5K. And before, like TikTok was like, what the is going on here? Now I'm like, nah, I'm going to figure it out. So I'm not afraid to figure it out and I'm not afraid to start over.
Sure.
I've started over so many times. Like I started over when I left 20 FM. I started over when I left 5 FM. I started over when I left Slick on Life. Like and I realized that I'm constantly gonna have to start over. So I became very happy and excited about starting over. Like I'm not afraid to start over. You can remove me from here and plant me in Dubai or Kenya. I will start over and I will be just fine.
And that's incredible because that's normally the most daunting thing for anybody.
Yeah.
Starting over is not, it can be scary because of the fear of the unknown, you know, but how have you kept on just being able to just be courageous?
You have to be brave.
Yeah.
You have to be brave. I think the passion is what has driven me for all the years because throughout all my phases, throughout all my growth, like even now I'm at a point where I'm reflecting on the years and how I've been as a person throughout, and I'm realizing that, oh, there was a point where I lacked confidence. There was a point where I was going through depression through it all. But the one thing that I knew was that so if I put in the work and my hands are in the thing, it doesn't matter what's going on here. Like no one's going to come and take your work away from you. So you have to be brave and you have to trust in the work that you do. One thing about me, like anybody that I've worked with, that I've encountered, that any company I've been in, you can come at me with anything, but it's never going to be about the work. So those are the kind of decisions that you have to make about your life and your career to say, okay, diabuwa, mara what ke dume kang and na ke dume ka span. Like you can't tell me ka span.
Absolutely.
Le ke robetse ntsosa ai span. Ke da. So I think those are the kind of things that will help you stay consistent or like that will help you when you're feeling like I don't know what the fuck is going on with my life. Like there was a point again, you know, in my growth where I'm like, okay, what now? I felt like I've exhausted everything, I've done everything. Spoken priestess, what's next? But even in that confusion, I was like, let me span. I was still spanning. Let me put in work. The content, like I'm always working. And, you know, not toxically so, but it's like, make the decision of what you're going to be known for. Like, as in, what is your personal brand? I guess there's the brand, the African Powerpuff Girl that people see.
Sure.
But what are the core values? Like, what is your personal brand? What are you known for? Are you known for being that guy that shows up? Are you known for being that guy that's always late? Are you known for being that guy that's always a diva when they come on sets? Are you known for that guy that's always going to come through for me at the last minute? Are you known for being that guy that can pull miracles? Do you know what I mean? So I'm known for being that girl that's reliable. Like, if somebody calls me, they'll be like, spoken, skawara.
You know for sure.
Skawara, spoken, and people have said that so many times about me to so many different people. It doesn't even make me nervous when people are like, yo, I've heard so much about you. I'm like, yeah, vele.
Sure.
Trust.
Yeah.
It's real, you know? So, hey, man, amidst all of the confusion and sometimes not believing in yourself, I'm glad that I had that clutch of I span. And so that's where I got my bravery from. I trusted in my ability to make shit happen. I don't know if we can swear on this podcast. I hope we can.
It is what it is.
I hope we can.
But look, music unscripted. I mean, I became familiar with music unscripted when you were go UJFM. You know, and for it to also have developed to what it is now today, I mean, I was in a lot of your spaces, go Twitter.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it has really, really just. What is Music Unscripted for
so
people
Music
that don't know?
Unscripted is a platform of information exchange for artists, almost similar like Music Politricks, but it's kind of different. It's a community thing and it's been morphing over the years. But I started that thing because I realized that artists don't know what the hell they're doing with themselves. They don't know what an ISRC code is. They don't know where to submit their music. They don't know where to register their music. They don't know that we need a clean edit for radio submission. So I was like, my God, this is frustrating. but what am I going to do about it, right? Okay, teach them. So Music Unscripted is a platform of information exchange for artists, particularly targeting the upcoming and middle stream artists, to help them navigate the industry by sharing that kind of information with them, and just ensuring that they know how to navigate the music and entertainment industry. So we've had conferences for the past 8 to 10 years. We were in COVID, so we were like, okay, let's keep the fire burning by doing Twitter Spaces, which brought the conversation closer to people. So that's essentially what Music Unscripted is. We cover all sorts of topics about the game. Like Sianda was talking about how he learned about management. From there, we've had some experts come in, tell us their game, plug us onto how the thing works. And that's what it's about, man. I just like teaching people. Like even now I was asking you, can we do a TikTok to tell people how to podcast? Like that's just the kind of person I am. And Music Unscripted is a vehicle for that.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And throughout the growth, how have you actually been able to keep it going? Because it's been long.
It's a miracle. Honestly, you know what? Music Unscripted, I'll be honest with you, it's not something that is showing profits to the company. It's not something that's bringing in the money. I know that it does have potential to become a money bag, but that kind of work, it's very tricky with that kind of work, because the minute it becomes money based, then I'm overcharging the people that I'm trying to reach. They barely have 100 rand. Now it has to be more expensive. The minute when money gets injected into some of these things, it loses the fiber of what it is. So it's a passion project, and that's why it's been kept alive. It's the things that keep me up at night. It's the fact that I want to tell people about this stuff. It's the fact that I want to teach people. It's the fact that the music industry keeps changing. So what we spoke about in 2015 is not relevant in 2024. Now we need to talk about branding and brand endorsements and digital footprints and content strategies. Radio, bruh, the radio game is over. No offense, I'm not starting any fires, but it's like we have to diversify beyond traditional media, and those are conversations that need to be had. So where am I going to have the conversations? I have the vehicle. So that's how it's been kept alive all these years. Like I genuinely am passionate about that shit, and I wish there was a way that I could host it every month if possible. It's just impossible. Venues cost money, and not just any venue, but venues that are conducive to what I'm trying to do. I want to pull up a screen and show you, to say, this is how I'm that kind of person, but I can't find a venue like that. And if I find it, it costs 5,000 rand, and I don't have that. So, but to answer the question, it's been kept alive because I'm passionate about it. Myself and my business partner, we're both passionate about it. So that's how, it's the core of, the company, 16 Bars Reloaded, is artists. We care about the artist.
And if anything, thank you, because you've really influenced so many different people, so many artists, so many people that work behind the scenes. It's incredible. Like your work is just phenomenal.
It's insane. It's so crazy for your work to be humans, because sometimes you want to see, like I've been thinking, like, okay, what do I have to show for all that I've put into the game? Like sometimes it feels like like and it's not even about fame, but that feeling of I sometimes feel that, like, where am I? Like, what was it all for? And then you bump into people that are like, yo, I'm your biggest fan. You wrote an article about me in Silicon Life when no one was listening to me. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's where it is. It's in the people, So I'm growing into that, and I think that's dope.
That's
like
so powerful.
For a Sianda to say, my sister, management, and I'm like, okay. And like there's another big record label that I'm not gonna mention. I don't want to start fires, but there's a big record label in the country that was started after they had come to a Music Unscripted and got the plug on, oh, this is how this shit works. They put it together and they went into what they are now. So I'm like, those are the kind of reminders for me to be like, yeah, you may not have the plaque, and it's not because sometimes the game won't give you that. But people won't give you your flowers on purpose. It'll be like, oh wow, why must we ngoma you? But you can see it in the cycle. You can see I think that's also the perks of being a pioneer, is you have to be okay with being a seed that allowed other people to flower and germinate.
Sure.
So it's in the people, and I'm not mad at that. Like people last forever. Like now Sianda's gonna impact that onto other people. And we're using Sianda as an example because he was on the podcast. But he's gonna impact onto other people and more people and more people. Like even Bonafide that I'm working with, he speaks a lot about music unscripted and how it's important to him and how he used to attend music unscripted before he got to know me or before he got to work with me. And you realize that you think you're working in silo, but you're not. You actually have an impact on people. So yeah.
Big shout out.
shout out to me. Thank you. Thank you for the flowers, man. Yeah.
And right now you're doing a lot of music strategy, music planning.
Yeah.
Tell us more. Like these words, like they sound nice.
I know. So the crux of music strategy and content planning is literally that. So before we used to have a whole team of people. Most times it was an artist manager or a brand manager that would come up with like strategies which are like ways, the plan. How are we going to play this thing? It was usually an artist manager that knew how to do that. Sometimes it was a publicist who would say, okay, this is the best way to play this. But now as a music strategist, it's looking at the entire thing. And I got this from working in advertising, where you see how the entire system goes, from planning to you brainstorm, then you plan, then you write down the idea, you conceptualize it, you package the idea, and then you have to like roll it out. Like you actually have to do it, and you have to consider what kind of things play a role in here, what kind of media platforms, what kind of spaces, what kind of activations play a role in here. So as a music strategist, I look at the entire thing so that you don't have to hire an entire team. I can tell you, okay, point number one, it's basically putting the music journey in a system, in a line, giving you a timeline.
So essentially you can look over 5 years. You don't necessarily have to look over one single, one album.
No.
Okay.
Yes. So the and strategy in advertising is exactly that. A strategist creates a brand Bible. They create a brand voice. They create a direction. They say, oh, okay, I almost gave away things I shouldn't give away. But anyways, they will say, Blue Bank, you are trying to, talk about growth, or you're trying to reach young people. Here's how you speak to young people, and here's the messaging that you should use. And this is how we're going to make sure that throughout the year, whatever content we put out is in line with what you're saying.
Sure.
So a music strategist would say, oh, Busi, you're going to drop an album. What is it your debut album? Is it the one that introduces you to the world? What is your sound, and what does that sound become beyond music? How do we speak to people beyond music? Oh, let's consider what your look is communicating. And have you ever seen an artist that gives you a certain feeling? Like Cesar gives you a feeling, but then Berita gives you a different feeling. But then Elaine gives you a different feeling. So it's all those kind of like brands, and seeing how the music communicates beyond just the song. What am I saying when I speak? What am I saying when I show up on social media, which is one of the biggest things that artists neglect? And what am I saying when I show up in person? Like, you will never not catch me looking like an African Powerpuff Girl, no matter where I am. Here's an African Powerpuff Girl. So it's those kind of things where you have to look at the consistency of the brand, the brand vision, and how do you... It's not just a dream to say I'm an African. What does it look like in real life?
So essentially you're constantly telling a story.
It's telling a story. A strategist is a storyteller, and making sure that story doesn't break along the way, and making sure that all the parts in the system stick to the story.
And they are consistent.
It's consistent.
Okay.
Yes.
And I guess this
and
is
a
where
big
now
part
it
of
feeds
it,
off onto content planning.
Yes, I was about to say, and a big part of that is planning. So like, okay, we have this idea of the African Powerpuff Girl. How does she live? Okay, here's a year, Q1. What's the messaging of Q1? Q1 is establishing the brand, establishing the the narrative, establishing who you are. And then for Q2, we want to make sure that once we've established that, we show them what that brand and that narrative is. And sometimes content planning is great because you can use the months as a guide. For example, February is Love Month, March is Human Rights Month, April is Freedom Month, May is Africa Month, June is Youth Month, July is Mandela Month, August is Women's Month, September is Spring Month, October is Mental Health Awareness Month. You see that you have a whole year kind of structure to help you plan accordingly. So where do you fit into these conversations? My biggest months are Africa Month and Women's Month. As a female DJ, as a creative entrepreneur, and as a person that I am, being an Africanist, May is my biggest business month. So you plan towards Africa Month. All the content that you're driving now must drive towards that big bang of the Africa Month conversation. Once that big bang is gone, you continue living in your Africanness until it's Women's Month, and then you're visible again. So that's how you plan as well, to say Q1, we've established Q2, refocus on more Africa Month. Q3, Africa Month hype, we need a new, maybe we'll drop an EP.
For sure.
Maybe we'll do a content series on Get to Know Me. If you look at what Kelly's is doing now, if you're on Instagram, follow her. She's currently in Africa for whatever reason she is, but she's literally a National Geographic on social media. She's telling us about what's happening in Kenya, in Uganda, in Tanzania, and that you plan that. It's like what you're so intentional about bringing people on this journey and showcasing whatever you're showcasing in line with you. She's a naturalist. She's somebody that's organic. So she's showing us the organic life of Africa and very intentional to show us the Africa that the rest of the world wouldn't. So those are the kind of things that you plan. And then you put it into content. So I think for me, the biggest takeout for artists is get into your content bag. Really get into being intentional about your content. It's not just the video of your drip. It's not just the video of you at the event. What bigger story are you telling? Because that social media platform is an extension of you.
100%.
And guys, I need you to start using your social media platforms to earn money. There are influencers that get bags because they've got 10,000 followers. You're an artist and you've got an active audience of 15,000 people that you are not using to your benefits.
And how do you monetize it as someone who actually plans and strategizes this sort of thing?
So the money would come from my consultation. I sell my time. So I would say, for my time, this is how much I'll charge you. It's literally that, because anything else, unless if we did a commission-based thing where I can broker a deal or I can approach an agency for you where you become an influencer and whatever you get paid, I'll take a percentage from that. But I think the biggest thing, to keep it simple, is you pay for my time. You pay for my consultation. You pay for the work I do to do a content plan for you, to strategize for you. I give you the strategy, boom, here's the strategy. And I either walk away after giving you the strategy or we keep working together, of which then you'll keep me on a retainer to say, because of this project, it goes and I can't do it by myself. Is it possible for me to pay you this much per month, or this much per consultation, or this much per big thing? Because you paying for my services, the writing, the planning, the content plan, the rollout plan is the product.
And what does a consultation look like? What are you talking about in the consultation? Is there I'm sure some prior research you've done for the artist in question? Or what does it look like when someone is sitting in a consultation?
First thing is I listen to the music so that I can understand who you are and just listen to how you sound, what are you saying, what are your subjects, who are you. I look at your social media to see, okay, what are you showing and what are you trying to show, what's coming out of that. And then we sit in a conversation to say, okay, what are you trying to do? Like, usually it's because they want to drop something, so what are you trying to do, what's the plan? And then I just help you jig the thing to say, no, put it like this, start with this, don't do radio, it's not worth it. I don't see you getting into radio because of 1, 2, 3, 4. Try the online situation, try and use TikTok, try and use Instagram. Oh, why don't you have a listening session, because that makes sense. Oh, you dress really well, maybe you should reach out to Puma to sponsor your wada. So I'm the ideas guy in the room, because you don't think of these things because you're so inside the thing. I'm the one that says, no, what about, try. Then I put it in a line for you and say, this is how you do it. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
So that's what a consultation looks. Usually it's like 30 minutes to an hour. The first one would be 30 minutes to get to know you, get to know what you're trying to do. I give you homework. I'm not in the habit of like spoon feeding artists.
Yeah.
I want artists to go and do something and then come and show me what they've done so that we can work on that. And I think that's also the difference in the clients I work with. I work with clients that are doing the work. I'm not in the business of mothering you. Like a lot of artists want handouts, and it's like, my guy, do the work so that we can help you.
Okay.
No one's going to come and give you the game on your table. If you're not doing the work, no one's going to meet you halfway. But there's never been a time in the world where no one has closed the door on somebody that's done something. Like if you say, hey, busikirile so mara ke a shota. A ere ke bona re shota mo kae, maybe nka o tlatsa. E seng busi monna hape monna tafula monna ina sepe.
You've got to have
It's
something
like,
to show.
my nigga,
Yeah.
tlhakantsha le wena re nna re thuse
Kannete.
re fete, because we
Kannete.
can't carry you, you know. So
That's incredible.
yeah.
Please name drop. Like, who are some of the artists that you are working with, that you've worked with? I mean,
What's that?
you should- Bona, Pakati inside.
Okay, Bonafide Billy Blow Lepara.
He's incredible.
Yes.
Both of them.
Both of them. And no, I can't. I don't want to jinx it. Those are the two artists I'm currently working with. I'm doing a podcast with Standard Bank
Nice.
that we've been shooting since last year. So that one is more art related in that space. And
Even previous artists are also fine. You know, the ones that have come for the consultation.
Versatile is so it's a lot of people in the music unscripted community. So Versatile, I consult with him all the time. Mayhem is another artist that I consult with all the time. And who else? Now my head is not so clear.
Okay, all right. Because we are out of time, but
Yes.
very quickly, we also want to know what you're working on or want to come do karaoke. Tell
Right,
us
I was
more.
about to get into that. A lot of my energy is focused on Bedu Nights. So Bedu Nights is a strictly African African and Afrobeats music. I almost said African hip hop. Afrobeats event. It happens every last Friday. Afrobeats. It's the fact that you're going out and you're hearing the same sound, and there's not enough of that Afrobeats fiber anywhere. So we're like, no, don't worry, you can come here. It will be Afrobeat Central. So that's Bedu Nights. And then there's Afri Karaoke, Afri Saudi Karaoke, which is African sound. Saudi is Kiswahili for sound. So African Sounds Karaoke, it happens every first Thursday of the month. Another African karaoke thing. Because you go to karaoke and all you have is Western music. You don't have Tandi Swamazwa, you don't have Huma Segela on the lineup. There's no AKA to sing. There's no Miriam Makeba to where's the African music on the karaoke? So I filled that gap. So that's what Afri Karaoke is.
Incredible.
So yeah, like a lot of I'm so all over the place, but it's all gonna come together. And a lot of it is just purpose driven of filling the gap of representation for the African person, and also just helping people kind of multiply and better themselves. And hopefully I too grow in that way. So yeah.
Watching you grow throughout the years has been incredible. Watching you do what you do has been so inspiring. So proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
I'm proud of me. It took me a while, but I'm very proud of myself. So thank you for that.
You should be paying for this. Okay. You should be paying for this kind of information.
I hope you were taking notes, but it's YouTube, so you can just pause and then
I want that.
take a pause, write the notes, and then if you're ready, come back, hit me up. Let's talk about the notes you took, and let's help you.
Absolutely. I mean, look, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do everything. And if you're listening via the streaming platforms, make sure that you can also review, give us 5 stars, do the right thing. But from a spoken priestess and myself, Nakalina Kenabusi, Baba Kulu, Baba Dese, the Queen of Pitori. Howdy.
Peace.